Welcome everyone to Token Topics. We're going to dive into the world of XRP. 2024 is the year of Ripple as a lawsuit comes to a close. Huge partnerships are on the horizon through Medico. We're going to look into some massive utility potential. Also, we're going to hear words from Peter Schiff on the current economic outlook, a potential collapse, and gold standard on the horizon. And Peter also believes that we have the technology now to make this a reality. So let's go ahead and dive in. All right, everybody, the $20 cashback in XRP was a success. In fact, it was such a great deal that we have decided to continue it. Yes, that's right. So if you missed out on the 200 free Algorand, or maybe the last $20 cashback event, or maybe even missed out on the Black Friday deal through DCENT, not all is lost. This is your last chance to get on something special before Christmas. If you purchase a DCENT wallet through Token Topics through an affiliate link, you can receive $20 cash back in XRP. It's simple. All you do is purchase a wallet through Token Topics, then you fill out a form, and then you relax. And the rewards will be sent out on the 30th of December. So to get $20 cash back in XRP, after you purchase a wallet, in the description, you're going to see where you just have to fill out your email, your last name, your city, the country you live in, and of course your XRP wallet address, a tag if needed, and a number of wallets purchased, and then you submit it. This is a hot topic. XRP Army eyes big bank partnerships for Ripple after Medico's HSBC success. So, earlier this month, Medico, a company Ripple acquired for $250 million in May, revealed the HSBC deal. For an industry where such major deals are hard to come by, it is not surprising that XRP holders consider the Medico HSBC partnership as one that brings Ripple closer to large banks. Notably, Medico has also expanded its relationship with Swiss banking behemoth BBVA. Continues here that Ripple's cross-border payment capabilities, backed by the XRP ledger and company's ownership of Medico, all bode well for its continued success. The general consensus is that Medico will inevitably serve as a channel for Ripple to offer its XRP ledger and XRP token integration to major banking partners. In a recent interview, Medico CEO Adrian Treccani confirmed that such an idea was not mere wishful thinking. He reportedly noted that there is an indirect link between Ripple and Medico's offerings, and that a win for either arm bodes well for XRP Ledger protocol in the long run. Adrian Treccani further teased that the XRP protocol allows Medico to offer its banking clients a full stack of crypto-based solutions. One area where Medico CEO expects the XRP Ledger to be crucial for its clients is in the field of tokenization, a sector that has most big banks believe will become blockchain's most popular use case. Let's see what's going on with the lawsuit. Now, this thing should be wrapped up here soon. The judge has just ordered them to have a closed-door meeting. So on November 30th, they were discussing as a settlement discussion. In an ongoing effort to resolve the 3-year legal battle over the classification of XRP as a security, the United States District Court for Southern District in New York has ordered Ripple and the SEC to engage in settlement discussions. As part of these discussions, a closed-door meeting is scheduled for, that happened November 30th, just a couple days ago. So the meeting under the Sunshine Act will focus on various aspects of the potential settlement, including the institution and settlement of administrative proceedings, injunctive actions, litigation claims, and matters related to examinations and enforcement proceedings. It seems to be that no matter what, 2024 is the year of Ripple. So the court sets 2024 as a deadline for Ripple. The court has set a tentative deadline of 2024 for the settlement to be finalized. Additionally, specific dates have been established for key steps in the settlement process. Both parties are expected to conclude remedies related to discovery by February 12, 2024. The SEC is expected to file its brief regarding remedies by March 13, 2024. Ripple has until April 12, 2024 to oppose the SEC's filing. If the parties can settle, it will be completed by 2024. The settlement would end a long-running legal battle and provide clarity for XRP investors and the cryptocurrency industry as a whole. This is big here. We might see an explosion in the crypto market here in the short term. Bitcoin spot ETF news could give crypto market wings. This could be definitely good for XRP. Now, why could this be good? Because the whole crypto market would literally turn bullish. The approval of a Bitcoin ETF legitimizes crypto as a valid investment option and could pave the way for more institutional adoption. As a result, Ripple may be accepted by more financial institutions looking to leverage the benefits of blockchain technology. Now, this is from the Digital Dollar Project. Now, for those that might not know, Ripple is not only a proud member, but they're a founding member, a very important member of the Digital Dollar Project. Remember that they are the true pioneers of interledger protocol. So they posted, the global financial landscape has witnessed a profound transformation in recent years characterized by the accelerated rise and integration of digital assets. There you go. CBDCs and their promise and potential are emblematic of a broader shift, a movement towards a more efficient, frictionless digital infrastructure, shaping the future of international trade, cross-border payments, and global financial integration. However, with transformative potential comes inherent complexity. As fiat currencies become more intertwined with technology, there are significant implications for privacy, human rights, cybersecurity, digital financial inclusion, and the movement of money across borders for international trade, aid, investment, and other payments. If designed without a common framework of standards and collaboration, short-sighted, a fragmented approach to CBDC development could lead to the emergence of walled gardens. The following paper is intended as a catalyst to stimulate a broader global dialogue about CBDC standards. It provides a stock take of existing activities, begins to define how these efforts may be coordinated and aggregated into a set of globally accepted best practices, and offers a baseline for addressing gaps or deficiencies in defining best practices. I'm going to put this document in the description so you can read through it. Interoperability standards for digital assets. We've heard from David Schwartz. We've heard from Brad Garlinghouse and many experts in the blockchain industry that you have to have interoperability. That's really key. You can't have a siloed world. You can't have these systems that don't interconnect, that don't communicate, that don't work with each other. You know, for the whole world to be on board with this financial system, everything must work. Ripple is very much involved with the Digital Dollar Project again. And Mary Hall posted just a few days ago, Ripple CBDC experts Joe Villano and Lauren Berta were at the Digital Dollar Project and Atlantic Council Geoeconomic Center event. Pretty awesome. Next, I'd like to show this. This is big, and it just shows what's on the horizon. Tokenize real-world assets, or RWAs, could grow to a $10 trillion market by 2030 as crypto converges to TradeFi. So you can see that curve. Wow. The XRP ledger and a gold standard. Could that be on the horizon? Now, I'm not talking about conspiracy theories or XRP being backed by gold. What I am saying is the tokenization of commodities such as gold. You can transport that value. If we were on a gold standard, you can still tokenize it and you can still transport that value. Now, an economic collapse is upon us, according to Peter Schiff. Worse than 2008, he believes. We're going to listen to Peter Schiff speak on the current economic situation, the collapse of the dollar, also returning to a gold standard. Now, Peter is not really for Bitcoin, but he does see blockchain in the future. Now, he said several times that he actually sees a value in blockchain where it can transport value at the speed of information. He is very much pro-gold standard. He does see that in the future, and he's also made remarks about how he sees how blockchain technology could transport the value such as gold. You can tokenize it and quite literally transport it anywhere around the world. Now, we're going to listen to Peter Schiff. He's going to speak about the current economic situation, what he sees, a possible dollar collapse, and more. So
that, and of course, you're so well known for being one of the few to correctly call the 2008 financial crisis. People were ridiculing you, but you were cautioning that the subprime mortgage crisis was going to happen, and you were one of the few to actually correctly call it and even time it. And during your presentation last night, you were saying that things in the macro environment are starting to feel quite similar to how they did back in 2007. including the trend of some economic revisions, some economic data being revised. So break that down for us. How are things feeling like 2007?
Well, in 2007, a lot of things happened in the mortgage market, particularly in subprime, that I had for years. And I had been predicting that that would be the trigger of a much broader financial crisis. And so in 2007, I saw the evidence that my forecast was correct. And I became more emboldened in my, predictions of this crisis. But the mainstream was very dismissive of what I was saying. Even up till the summer of 2008, we were right around the corner from, this global financial crisis. And we were in the middle of what became known as the Great Recession, the worst recession since the Depression. But even up till the summer of '08, people were denying that a recession was anywhere in sight, let alone that we were in one. And why it reminds me now, this is the fourth quarter of 2023, why it reminds me of the fourth quarter of 2007 is because a lot of the forecasts that I have been making since pretty much the beginning of QE and 0% interest rates was that eventually rates would move up and it would be a huge problem for everybody who had loaned money, the banks, and then the U.S. government, of course, would be in a lot of trouble because it borrowed so much money and now had to deal with rising rates. So a lot of the predictions that I've been making are coming true, yet once again the mainstream is oblivious to these risks, just like they were oblivious in '07. And I also think it's significant because in the fourth quarter of 2007, that's when the Great Recession began. But during the fourth quarter of 2007, we were reporting rosy economic numbers, just like we are reporting now. It wasn't until the fourth quarter of 2008, a year later, that they went back and they revised down an entire year's worth of economic data. Right. And all of a sudden, those rosy statistics became the Great Recession. And I have a feeling that a year from now, we're going to find out that the economy wasn't nearly as good, in particular the labor markets, as we were being told. And I think that Joe Biden's horrific approval ratings, he's the lowest or the least popular president since Jimmy Carter at this point in his first term. There's a reason for his lack of popularity, and it's because the economy is lousy.
GDP, 4.9%.
Yeah.
And they react on that, but then they don't go back and look when the data gets revised. And just as an example of that, we had the Bureau of Economic Analysis revise down the last 3 years of economic data, revised down. In 2022, just one example, GDP contracted at a 2% rate in the first quarter, and that was revised down from the previously reported 1.6% growth. That's quite a revision. Consumer spending is now estimated to have been flat instead of what was reported, which was a 1.3% rate of growth. So these revisions are already coming through.
And first of all, a lot of the numbers are just guesses anyway, and they're very subjective and they're very biased in what they want to report. But look, we got the jobs report that came out today for October. Lots of revisions, all downward to prior months. But the numbers we got today were horrible in that only 99,000 private sector jobs were created. 51,000 government jobs were created. I mean, we don't want those government jobs. I mean, they're not productive and they run up the deficit because we have to pay for them and the government doesn't have the money. We lost 35,000 manufacturing jobs. Those are the jobs we want. Those are the ones that we lost. Those are productive, higher paying jobs. But also the unemployment rate went up. The labor force participation rate went down. And in fact, if you look at the household survey, I think 400,000 people lost their jobs. And the 99,000 jobs that were created by the private sector, that was well below estimates, they were all part-time jobs, and they went to people who already had a job.
The dollars days are numbered. Now, granted, you've been saying this for a while, but it seems as though you're really doubling down on the case that we're going to get an even worse crisis than we did in 2008, and that we could be on the brink of a sovereign debt crisis.
Well, we're going to have a sovereign debt crisis, a currency crisis. The Fed has to pick which one. Ultimately, we'll probably end up having both. But initially, they're going to have to choose between causing a financial crisis that's worse than '08 with no bailouts, right? So that means real serious losses. It's not just that a bank fails, and all the big banks that we bailed out in 2008 will fail, and they're much bigger now, and it'll be a much more disastrous collapse. But it means that depositors at these institutions will lose money because there is no money in the FDIC to make these, insolvent banks whole for the depositors. So the Fed is either going to have to allow a massive, financial collapse, or in order to prevent that, it's going to sacrifice the dollar, and it's going to surrender in its inflation war, and it's going to allow much, much higher inflation. Then, they're going to have to stop pretending that the gold is 2%. I mean, we're going to be much, much higher. We'll be in the double digits.
Trading amongst their own currencies. We are also seeing that central banks around the world continue to increase their purchases of gold. To your point, World Gold Council saying that 2023 looking to overtake 2022 in terms of record purchases of gold. But when we say go back to gold, would that not require some other country, some other currency to make the first move, to come out and say, forget the dollar, it's backed by nothing, but BRICS common currency or new version of the yuan 2.0 or whatever it is now backed by gold? Would that not be the first step needed before this collapse that you're talking about?
Well, first of all, your points about Biden, sure. I mean, Biden did quite a bit to accelerate the dollar's demise, but it's long overdue. I mean, it should have already happened. But yes, I mean, running up the already large deficits, the spending bills that the Biden administration signed on to made it worse. Certainly, the sanctions imposed on Russia highlighted the need to de-dollarize, and so he's brought it forward. He's made some bad moves as president. But as far as what's needed for a gold standard to reemerge, I think it's mainly going to come from the public. It's not going to be the government saying we're going back to a gold standard. I mean, that's the last thing they want. It takes away a lot of their power. It's just going to be a refusal by the public to accept these currencies, because as they really start losing value, particularly the dollar, the market will look for alternatives. And it's ultimately, if you are a seller, a provider of services, or a seller of goods, you decide what you want to be paid. And if I'm not going to be paid in a form of money that I'm willing to accept, then I'm not going to sell. And so you're going to see more and more people not wanting the dollar. And then what are they going to accept as an alternative? And I think gold is something that will be an alternative. And it's really easy to remonetize gold today, because you have the internet, and you have blockchain and all kinds of interesting innovations that would enable gold to circulate globally as a medium of exchange far more efficiently than it has in the past. And it worked great in the past.
Technology exists indeed. Well, everybody, that's all I have for the video. I hope you did enjoy the content. Don't forget to take advantage of the $20 cash back in XRP just before Christmas. And also don't forget to subscribe so you can stay up to date with fresh content. Thank you.